We are going through exercise 16b, and in this video we'll be answering question 2, which says two cars are driven in a straight line for 5 kilometers. They both go from point A to point B and start at the same time. They're actually driving parallel to each other. Each car travels with constant speed. The speed of car Y is twice that of car X, and the speed of car X is 40 kilometers. Illustrate this with a distance time graph. So before we launch into this, let's just figure out a few things. The first of which is we know that the speed of car X is going to be 40 kilometers an hour. The speed of car X is going to be 40 kilometers per hour. Since car Y travels at twice the speed, we can say that Y is going to be 80 kilometers an hour. Nothing too tricky there at all. The next thing that we can do is come over here and see what we can graph. So our y-axis, our vertical axis, is going to represent our distance, and our distance here is in kilometers. And our horizontal axis, our x-axis, is going to represent time. So let me write here time. And time here is being measured in hours. Now, we are also told that we are traveling, it's driven for 5 kilometers. So let's come over here and put 5 in there. So 5 kilometers, that is the ugliest 5 I've ever seen. Let me try that again, 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a dotted horizontal line at 5 here, just to show you really what we're doing. So there is our 5 kilometer mark. Now if we were to come over to our lines for a second, let's come to our red line, and our red line is going to represent car X, which is traveling 40 kilometers an hour. Now, it's a constant speed, so we know it's going to be a straight line. The question is going to be, where do we place it? Where is it going to be? Is it going to be over here, or is it going to be over here? Where is it going to be? And of course, that is really asking us the question of what is the time going to be for this car, which is traveling 40 kilometers an hour, to get to 5 kilometers. So how long in time, how long in hours is it going to take for this car, car X, to get to 5 kilometers an hour? It's a question of time. To figure this out, we're simply going to rely upon our formula for speed. We know that speed, let me come over here. We know that, let me do it in red. We know that speed equals my distance over my time. If we know what my speed is 40 kilometers an hour, we can get rid of that S, and in its place we can put 40. If we know what our distance is going to be, it's going to be 5. I can get rid of that D, and I can put 5 there. And now you can see I simply need to solve for T. So after some rearranging, it's simply going to be T is equal to 5 over 40, which is the same as 1 over 8. So that's 1 over 8 hours. So 1/8 of an hour, to put it another way, 1/8 of an hour. So that means if I was to come over here, and let me just put it here, let's say that this is 1 over 8. So 1/8 of an hour. Let me grab my line and let me line this up. It's going to be about here. That's what my line is going to look for car X. So let me just actually write it here as well. Car X, 1/8 of an hour. We're going to do the same thing now for car Y. So again, we know that my speed equals my distance over time. In this case, my speed is going to be 80 kilometers an hour. So I can get rid of that and in its place put 80. Once again, my distance is going to be 5 kilometers. So let me put a 5 there. Then after some rearranging, it's simply going to be T is equal to 5 over 80, which is the same thing as 1 over 16th. So it's 1/16th of an hour. So now I can come over here. Obviously it's going to be about there, 1 over 16. I can come grab my line. My line is going to be about here. And let me again write that in so we are all on the same page. This is car Y. And just like that, we have answered this question. Hopefully you can see it's pretty straightforward once you know that distance equals speed over time, and you know that if we are traveling at a constant speed, it is represented with a linear function. Hopefully this has all been helpful to you in answering question 2.